In this video, we are going to discuss percentiles of group data. And for our objectives, we have number 1, discuss how to compute the percentiles of group data. Number 2, compute for the percentiles of the group data. So percentiles of group data. The formula for the percentiles of group data is equal to P sub k is equal to P sub L plus I times the quantity of Kn over 100 minus Cf sub B all over F sub C. So where B sub L is the lower class boundary of P sub K class or the percentile class, I is the size of the class interval or the class size, Cf sub B is the largest cumulative frequency lower than Kn over 100, F sub C is the frequency of the percentile class or the PK class, and N is the number of observations or total frequency. So let's try this example. At the right side, let us try this example. At the right side is the frequency distribution table for the proposed length of recess break. So this is the length of time per minutes, and this is the frequency. Here we are going to find P sub 45 or the 45th percentile. So for the solution, to find the P sub 45 or the 45th percentile, first we get the cumulative frequencies of each interval. And that is, this is the cumulative frequency, 5, 5, 5 plus 8, that's 13, 13 plus 10, that's 23, 23 plus 10, that's 33, 33 plus 9, that's 42, 42 plus 6, that's 48. Therefore, our N here, or the total of the frequency, is 48. Since our cumulative frequency is a running total of frequencies. Then identify Kn over 100. So that is Kn over 100 is equal to 45. So our K here is equal to 45 since we are looking for the P sub 45 times N. So the total of frequency, we get it earlier, so that is 48 over 100. So 45 times 48 over 100, that's 21.6. Our Kn over 100 here is 21.6. So now let's determine the class interval with the least cumulative frequency among these cumulative frequencies greater than or equal to Kn over 100. Since our Kn over 100 is equal to 21.6, the cumulative frequency greater than 21.6 is this 23 here. So this is now our P sub 45 class or the 45th percentile class. Take note of the cumulative frequencies lower than Kn over 100 or lower than 21.6. So these are 13 and 5. Denote the highest among them, Cf sub B. So the highest among them is 13. This 13 here. So therefore, this 13 here is our Cf sub B. So next, find the lower class boundary, B sub L, and the frequency F sub C. So here, in finding the lower class boundary, we will use 20 and 19. We are going to find the mean of 20 and 19. So that is B sub L is equal to 20 plus 19 all over 2. That's 19.5. and the frequency of the P sub 45 class is 10. So our F sub C is 10. And now determine the class size, where the class size is 10. So 0 to 9, that's 10. 10 to 19, that's 10. 20 to 29, that's 10. 50 to 59, that's 10. So since you already know here the value of B sub L, 19.5, I, which is 10, Kn over 100, which is 21.6, Cf sub B, which is 13, and F sub C, which is 10. So to find the P sub 45, or the 45th percentile, we are going to use this formula, B sub L plus I times the quantity of Kn over 100 minus Cf sub B all over F sub C. So that is by substitution. The B sub L is 19.5 plus the class size 10 times the quantity of 21.6, the Kn over 100, minus 13, the value of Cf sub B, all over 10, which is the value of F sub C. So now the 45th percentile, or the P sub 45, is equal to 28.1. So now let us discuss percentile rank of grouped and ungrouped data. And for our objectives, number 1, define percentile rank. 2, interpret a percentile rank. And 3, solve problems involving percentile rank. So let's start with the percentile rank of ungrouped data. So the process of finding the percentile rank of ungrouped data that corresponds to a particular score X is fairly simple, as indicated in the following expression. So that is, percentile of score is equal to the number of scores less than X over total number of scores times 100. So this is the formula in finding the percentile of score of ungrouped data. So let us have an example. So using this data here, we are going to find its percentile rank. So first we have to arrange it in ascending order. So this data here is already arranged in ascending order out of this data. Okay, so we have this data already arranged in ascending order. So the question is, what is the percentile rank of 94? So solution, using this formula, percentile of score is equal to the number of score less than X over total number of scores times 100. So that is by substitution. The PR sub 94, since we are looking for the percentile rank of 94, is equal to 11. Since the scores less than 94 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's why it's 11 over 20, or the total number of scores. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 times 100, and that is 55. So the percentile rank of 94 is 55. So thus, 55% of the distribution is less than or equal to 94. So that's how we interpret this percentile rank of 94. Next, another example, what is the percentile rank of 79? So using again the formula, percentile of score is equal to number of scores less than X over total number of scores times 100. So that is by substitution. The number of score less than X, or less than 79, is 1, 2, 3. So that's why it's 3. Over 20, the number of scores, this is 20, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then that's 3 over 20 times 100, and that's 15. Thus, 15% of the distribution is less than or equal to 79. So that's for percentile rank of ungrouped data. Let's now move on to the percentile rank of group data. So for group data, the percentile rank denoted by PR sub x of a specific observation value can be computed using the formula. PR or percentile rank of x is equal to C percent sub B plus percent sub C times the quantity of x minus B sub L all over I. So where our x is the observation value, C percent sub B is the cumulative percent below the considered class, I is the class width or the class size or the class interval, percent sub C is the percent value of the class containing x, and B sub L is the lower class boundary of the class containing x. So let us have an example. So at the right side is the frequency distribution table of the proposed length of recess break. So here, we are going to find the percentile rank of 30 minutes. To find the percentile rank of 30 minutes, first we get the percent and cumulative percent of each interval. So we have here the length of time, the frequency, the cumulative frequency, the percent, and cumulative percent. So how do we get this percent here? So that is just 6 divided by 48 times 100, that's 12.5. 9 divided by 48 times 100, that's 18.75. 10 over 48 times 100, that's 20.83. 10 divide 48, that's 20.83. 8 divide 48, that's 16.67. 5 divide 48 is equal to 10.42. So how do we get the cumulative percent or the C percent? So that is 48 divided by 48 times 100, that's 100. 42 divided by 48, that's 87.5. 33 divided by 48 times 100, that's 68.75. 23 divided by 48 times 100, that's 47.92. 13 divided by 48 times 100, that's 27.09. And 5 divided by 48 times 100, that's 1042. So that's how we get the percent and the cumulative percent. So next, identify the following. So our x is 30 since we are looking for the percentile rank of 30 minutes. And since 30 minutes is in between 30 to 39, this is our class. So the C percent sub B or the cumulative percent below this cumulative class is 47.92. So that's our C percent sub B or the cumulative percent below the considered class. So that's 47.92. So our percent of C or the percent value of the class containing X is 20.83. The lower class boundary of the class or the B sub L is this 29 plus 30 divided by 2. So that's 29.5. And our class size is 10. So if you count 0 to 9, the class size is 10. Likewise, 10 to 19, the class size is 10, and so on. So since we already have the value of x, the C percent sub B, percent sub C, B sub L, and I, using the formula, PR sub x is equal to C percent B plus percent sub C times the quantity of x minus B sub L all over I. We just have to substitute the value. So that is, the PR sub 30 is equal to the value of C percent B is 47.92 plus the percent sub C, that is 20.83, times the quantity of x, which is 30, minus B sub L, that's 29.5, over the class size 10. So here, the percentile rank of 30 minutes is equal to 48.96 or approximately 49. So let us have another example. So using this data or this table, find the percentile rank of 80. So to find the percentile rank of 80, first we get the percent and the cumulative percent of each interval. So we have this table. This is the class interval, the frequency, the cumulative frequency, the percent, and the cumulative percent. So how do we get this percent? So same with the example 3, that is just 2 divided by 84 times 100. So that's 2.38. 6 divided by 84 times 100, that's 7.14. 12 divided by 84 times 100, that's 14.21. 18 divided by 84 times 100, that's 21.43. 22 divided by 84 times 100, that's 26.19. 11 divided by 84 times 100, that's 13.10. 8 divided by 84 times 100, that's 9.52. And 5 divided by 84 times 100, that's 5.95. So how about the cumulative percent? So that is just 84 divided by 84 times 100, that's 100. 82 divided by 84 times 100, that's 97.62. 76 divided by 84 times 100, that's 90.48. 4 divided by 84 times 100, that's 76.19. So 46 divided by 84 times 100, that's 54.76, and so on. So since we already have this percent here and cumulative percent, we have now to identify the following. So our x is 80 since we are looking for the percentile rank 80. So the class here is 78 to 86 since we can find here this percentile rank 80. So our C percent sub B, or the cumulative percent below this considered class, is this 5.95. So our percent sub C, or the percent value of the class containing X, is 9.52. And for our lower class, a boundary of the class containing X, that is 78 plus 77 divided by 2, or just the mean of these two, that is 77.5. And our I, or the class size, is 9. So if you count 69 to 77, the class size is 9. 78 to 86, the class size is 9, and so on up until 132 to 140, the class size is 9. So since we already have the value of X, we already determined the class, the cumulative percent below the considered class, the percent value of the class containing X, the lower class boundary of the class containing X, and the class size. We can now substitute these values to the formula. PR sub X is equal to C percent sub B plus percent sub C times the quantity of X minus B sub L all over I. So by substitution, the percentile rank of 80 is equal to 5.95, or the cumulative percent below the considered class, plus percent sub C, which is 9.52 times the quantity of 80, or the value of X, minus 77.5, or the value of lower class boundary of the class containing X all over 9, which is the class size. So that is PR sub 80, or the percentile rank of 80, is equal to 8.59, or approximately 9. So how do we interpret this? The lower 9% of the score is at most 80, or the 80th percentile of the score is 9. So that ends our discussion for this term.